Unplug from the machine. Tune into God's reality. What would it look like to live a life centered around sacramental worship, classical values, art, beauty, leisure, and a healthy relationship with nature and dirt? Something is sick in our modern culture. The moral and cultural foundations of society are crumbling. But what are the underlying reasons? Where did we go wrong from the start? And how can we get back to balance? There's a lot of talk about the problems in the world. But where do we go from here? And how radical does this have to be? I'm Father Peter Cavanaugh at the Ave Maria Farm, and I look forward to the discussion.
Angelus Domini, nunciavit Mariae,
et concepit de Spiritu Sancto.
Ave Maria, gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus.
Sancta Maria Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae. Amen.
My wife and I started this project in 2020. We felt that it was time to step back and reprioritize, and along the way to join up with others who share the vision. At the moment, you'll find here at the homestead the main farmhouse and 3 tiny homes, a pole barn and community garden, and a small herd of cattle, sheep, chickens, and Bonita, the family donkey. We built the tiny homes to provide a place for young adults enjoying a gap year, studying at college, or just along for the adventure, who want to start their adult life on a solid foundation, experience community, and learn basic farming skills. We're also a 15-minute drive from St. Benedict Orthodox Church, our local parish, which offers daily Mass and Rosary services, catechism, spiritual life classes, and a classical cooperative school for homeschooling families. We're building a life here grounded on prayer, work, dialogue, and community. And we welcome you to get involved. How is a soul formed in Jesus Christ? It starts with soil, the soil of the soul. In the 1980s, a philosopher named John Senior wrote a little book, The Restoration of Christian Culture. Here's a line from this book which is well worth taking note of. Our Lord explains in the parable of the sower that the seed of his love will only grow in a certain soil, and that is the soil of Christian culture, which is the work of music in the wide sense, including as well as tunes that are sung, art, literature, games, architecture, also many instruments in the orchestra which plays day and night the music of lovers. And if it is disordered, then the love of Christ will not grow. For over a millennium, Christianity was the driving force behind culture. Today our culture is unashamedly secular. With few exceptions, we Christians have walked hand in hand with this culture. Ashamed to step out of the box, we dance to the same tune played by the priest of Hollywood and Silicon Valley. Addicted to our devices and conveniences as much as anyone, we inhale and exhale the same godless worldview as our next-door neighbors, rarely aware of the worldliness we have let into our heart. Mesmerized by frenzied rush and the frenetic distractions, we are stuck and we hardly know how to move forward. John Senior continues, "It is an obvious matter of fact that here in the United States now, the devil has seized these instruments to play a dance macabre, a dance of death, especially through what we call the media, the film, television, radio, record, book, magazine, and newspaper industries. The restoration of culture, spiritually, morally, physically, demands the cultivation of the soil in which the love of Christ can grow. And that means we must, as they say, rethink priorities. So what would it look like to be an authentic Christian community today? Christianity has only ever really thrived in face-to-face community and real neighborhoods, where one's lifestyle revolves around the chiming of church bells, the recitation of the Angelus, and breaking bread on saints' days. How can we recover healthy boundaries with technology? I don't mean creating newer apps which flash alongside the unrelenting notifications. I mean turning off our phones and rediscovering the archaic art of conversation, of listening to crickets while sharing a bottle of wine, or tilling the soil of a community garden. How can we become masters of our tools again, rather than the sterile slaves of technocrats? What is real, delightful leisure, rather than cheap and stupefying entertainment? What is a life steeped in wonder, rather than a march to the beat of nihilistic drums? What steps are necessary for creating good old-fashioned family life? A life of reading around the hearth again, of singing songs around the piano, or including our children in the gathering of eggs and watering the plants which bring food to the dining table. What is the good life? How can we live it? Welcome to the Ave Maria Farm.